Welcome back to the third installment of the I Play with the Clippers, Not the NBA, the podcast. I am your host, J. Alexander, J. Blue Collar Bob Alexander to the barbering world. My name is Divine Cuts. And today on our show, we will have Earnest from the Swag's Barbershop down in Atlanta, Georgia, Killer Mike's Barbershop. So, just want to shout Killer Mike. Oh, speaking of Killer Mike, if you have not watched Trigger Warning on Netflix, please do yourself a favor and watch Trigger Warning on Netflix by Killer Mike. Right now, we're going to get into the intro of the podcast. Again, thank you for listening. Again, I'm your host, Divine Cuts.
Sharp as a shooter on the rooftop, yeah. I'ma keep it going when you not, yeah. Line you up like Picasso with a paintbrush, yeah. Man, I got a hustle that you can't touch, yeah. I play with the Clippers, not the NBA. Newtown, Kentucky, yeah, that's where I stay. Try to block my shot, that's when I shoot the fade. If you...
Welcome back to the third installment of the I Play with the Clippers, Not the NBA podcast. I'm your host, J. Alexander, J. Blue Collar Barber, Divine, whatever you want to call me. But right now I'm here at the Swag Shop here in Atlanta, Georgia, partly owned by Killer Mike, and I'm here with one of the barbers that work in the Swag Shop, and I'll let him introduce himself. So right now, if you don't mind, take his time to introduce yourself.
Hey, what up, world? I'm Earnest, E-Hood, Earnest Hood, a.k.a. Swagzilla, a.k.a. Mr. Edgewood in this thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, just honored to have you interview me today, man. Appreciate the opportunity to, kick it with you.
Man, I appreciate it, bro. I've been, ever since the shop opened, man, I've been coming through every now and then, man, since I guess 2015 or so.
That's right.
And you always welcome me with open arms, bro. So with that being said, I just appreciate you giving me the opportunity to interview you. But how long you been a barber though, man?
I've been a barber damn near 30 years now, man. Yeah. Well, really, yeah, it's like 30 piece.
Okay. And what inspired you to be a barber, man?
I was inspired to become a barber, man, honestly, by my mom. This was my route to get here. My mom was my barber when I was a kid. And at one point, I realized, I had artistic abilities and I could probably do this myself. So I asked her if I could try my hand at it. She passes me the clippers, and on my first cut on myself, I laced it. I was a natural. So everybody, when they saw my cut, they couldn't believe that I had done it myself. And, the legend was born.
Okay. So when you, outside of just seeing that you had a natural gift for it, you inquired about it through your mom, what was the reason you decided to get into it? Was it financial freedom, or was it just freedom, period? Or the opportunity to not work for, per se, someone else? Although we do work in the shop, and I don't know how it works with buffering or percentage, but back to the initial question, is what influenced you to get into it?
Well, it definitely lined up with a lot of my goals and, a lot of my life's principles. As a young kid, I was definitely into entrepreneurship. I came from a long lineage of entrepreneurs and folks who just were self-made, including my grandfather, who was in the recycling business, including my father, who was, a sign painter, who was a visual artist, interior designer, and a teacher. So, and just all around hustler. So I had these things already in my DNA, and the barbering industry, or the barbering job position, just kind of lined up with the way I was already flowing. I'm a visual artist myself, just by nature. I was born with certain gifts with my hands. So to be able to just straight out of high school take the business model that I was already working in with cutting my peers and different folks in my neighborhood to take that and just make it more professional and more legit was a no-brainer for me. And really, the influence came from a couple of folks in the industry that when I started to seek out that tutelage from elders in the game, they gave me knowledge and really encouraged me by saying, look, man, you can be your own boss. You can dictate your own schedule. You can make as much money as you want to make and know whoever you want to meet through this profession. So and that was I was around 15 years old when I had that conversation with my girl Pam Green. Shout out Pam.
What up, Pam?
You know what I'm saying? Denver's finest, yo.
Oh, okay. You originally from Denver?
I'm originally from Gary, Indiana, but I did grow up in Denver, and that's where I started cutting hair initially.
So what landed you in Atlanta?
ATL, man. Shout out Mama B. Now, here go another mama story. One of my best partners that I used to cut his hair when I was a kid, his mom started letting me come to her house and cut hair because I was cutting him, his brother, and then his mom had a short, natural hairstyle, so I started cutting his mom's hair. So we started just making it a thing. Like, we'd go over to Mama B's house, and she'd cook some good grub for us. I would set up shop, cut everybody's hair, and take care, love you too. Come back and see us sometime now.
It's him interacting with the clients and the customers. Man about town. He's about the community.
Out here, he did. Which is another important aspect of this industry that really attracted me to it. The fact that you become a figure in the community, you become, somebody that's almost like a councilman, in a lot of people's eyes, but more tangible. You know what I'm saying? They don't gotta go to City Hall to meet you or to see you. They come to the barbershop. So
and you know what's funny, man? Again, I told you at the beginning, brother, off the record, but now we are actually segueing into that particular aspect of the show.
Word.
The community aspect. And what I mean by that is, as a barber, do you feel obligated to do things for the community as far as give back on cutting the homeless or doing haircuts for kids, underprivileged children, back to school, or any of that? Do you feel obligated to do so?
Oh, man, honestly, I do feel an obligation to give back. And if I can just piggyback from my last statement about Mama B, which, she actually moved here to Atlanta before I did. And that's how I ended up coming to Atlanta, is because me and her son, we were so tight, and me and Mama B's birthdays are 2 days apart. So we came to Atlanta to celebrate my birthday and to visit Mama B and turn up for her and her birthday, early 90s, right? Fresh out of high school. I graduated in 93. I think I was in Atlanta in 94. Yeah, so I'm 94. I'm in ATL. And I just fell in love with the sense of community in this city. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, every chance I get, any opportunity I have to pour back into it, I jump at it. You know what I'm saying? And that opportunity presents itself in a lot of different ways very often.
I mean, what do you recommend that people do to help the community when we know as barbers we get, that's our great deal of clients, is our community. So, it's almost like we got to do something to return the favor for the community supporting us, because we're community-driven
industry
type business.
Yeah,
industry,
totally.
Absolutely.
Well, It's like a lot of things operate. You actually need people. You need the energy of people. You need the investment of people. So why not market to people by being generous towards them, but being inviting? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to gain somebody's allegiance or loyalty, the best thing to do is give them something. Present them with a gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is ancient African rituals, man. Basically, if you wanted to gift someone in ancient African periods in Africa, you would give them a haircut. You would actually style their hair for them. You know what I'm saying? In a way that symbolized or embodied exactly who that person was. You know what I'm saying? Where they were from, what tribe they was with, what position they were in the village, if they was a warrior, if they was a prince, a king, whatever. You gave them a hairstyle that fit that identity. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I see that as a great gift right now today, to be able to gain someone's allegiance, gain someone's loyalty by helping them stamp their identity in the world. You know,
achieve who they are, brand themselves. So, do you do any work with the homeless as far as the community? The barbershop as a whole?
Yeah, man. Well, let me paint a picture. So, we are here in the fabulous Old Fourth Ward, historically a black business district in downtown ATL. This community was built on the backs of our forefathers and ancestors who, poured blood, sweat, and tears literally into this foundation. Excuse me one second.
No, you good.
Yeah.
I can hit it.
My G, I'm gonna blast you some Lucci in your Cash App.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See right now.
Cash App cool?
He's conversing with one of the kids that clean up at the shop. You feel me? So we just now talking about community work, and look what he's doing. Community work. You feel me? He's giving an opportunity for a young man to make a few dollars. So we're going to pause this interview until he come back. He had to go greet somebody.
Baby, love, I'll see y'all soon. Right.
Oh, man.
All right, so
couldn't have came at a
we're
better,
back.
Couldn't have came at a better time, bro. We back.
Yeah.
But look, we couldn't have came at a better time, though. Cause,
Yeah,
we just talking about community service or what have you, and I just took the assumption that the young man that greeted you before he left the shop, was a young man that was
He works in the
cleaning
shop.
up at the bingo. So
He works in the shop. He's a new employee, intern, in training basically. And, he was a client of mine. Me and his mom became friends through his need for a haircut. So ultimately, man, to answer your question, as we sit right here in this, on this historic Edgewood Ave, where there's a large homeless population, there's a large senior population, and this shop actually anchors down a community. You have
absolutely
GSU college students right up the street.
It's Georgia State, y'all.
Yeah, that's Georgia State, and Auburn Ave, historic Auburn Ave is one block over. So, you have tourists from all around the world coming through this corridor specifically for an experience and to gain some type of knowledge, which I feel is empowering, you know. So one of the things that I do to give back, I encourage entrepreneurship in our youth. Like Mike, the young man who's working here at the shop. He's able to interact with not only myself, but everybody that's coming through here who work in whatever capacity they do for their own lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? And ultimately that gives him a wide array of different choices, career paths, and, you know, endeavors that he may jump off into when he comes of age.
Well, you mentioned that he was on, it was like an intern type of basis.
Yeah,
Ultimately, can you elaborate on what that means to a certain extent? Like, if we want to implement that in our barbershop, or even other barbershops or other barbers that's listening, you know what I mean?
get kids that are open and interested, man, and show them how to work. Teach them how to operate your barbershop business. Show them, pass along your expertise to, you know, help give them, you know, a one-up. You know what I'm saying? Get them an extra grooming outside of the physical grooming or the aesthetic grooming. Give them an additional grooming to be great. Set them up for success. You know what I'm saying?
So, like, when you say there's a lot of people that come through the district right here, Edgewood, do you all cut celebrities that come through here, or do celebrities come through for haircuts? I mean, although Killer Mike is a celebrity, I guess, you know what I mean, he probably wouldn't like to be known as such because he's a down-to-earth guy from what I've seen and researched. But do y'all get any celebrities here that you cut and have the business when it comes to cutting celebrities?
You know, shout out to all of the entertainment industry bosses that, you know, that rock with our brand, yo. Like, one love. I truly appreciate the camaraderie and the connection, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, real quick before you finish, I might interrupt so it don't look like I'm slipping. I did my research, and Swag Barbershop is now in the State Farm Arena.
Yes,
you feel me? That's the other barbershop. Yes. So, you know, that's where we at with it when it comes to being a celebrity and having that status and that swag, you feel me?
That's right.
But if you don't mind, just continue to go ahead about it.
Yeah, so I was just, you know, just shouting out the entertainment industry, man, and the real trill ATL, like, you know, all the folks that, you know, the creative community, you know, that for, you know, whatever your connection to Atlanta is, but, you know, if you're from here, if you come here, it don't matter, yo. You a part of this family of creatives that's out here putting in that work, and, you know, and you rock with us, man, I love and respect that, yo, because honestly, you know, that's a part of our allure, you know what I'm saying? Like, humbly, I could say, you know, that because Killer Mike is the owner of this business, and Shay Bigger, shout out Shay Bigger.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Killer Mike's wife. Yes, man. Boss lady. Because they own this business, we have, and Killer Mike is one half of a group called Run the Jewels, which, you know, shout out LP.
Right.
Is, you know, he has a white partner, a guy who's, you know, a so-called white cat that's a partner in his group, right? So LP being a part of Run the Jewels brings a slew of white clients here. You know what I'm saying? Like, a ton of so-called white people come to this shop partially because Killer Mike, but, you know, I think a great deal of that subconsciously is because Killer Mike rock with LP. Right. They visually see, you know, a black man with his head screwed on tight, rocking with a white partner who's very gifted and talented, yo, like, who I respect the shit out of because he kicks some dope ass shit.
appreciate that. I admire Killer Mike, man.
Yeah,
I always come down here and ask
RTJ all day, man.
Where when I can reach out to him or meet him or whatever. But I just admire the way he moves, man. It's like a brother that I never had, and I just see him as such, man. And I just appreciate the fact he got a barbershop that is an anchor in our community, and barbershops are where revolutionary thinking begins, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's an institution, man. But you know, to keep it a band, I gotta give the same love and respect to the barbers that cut in here, because on a slow, dreary, rainy ass day like this, ain't no celebrities around, bro. It's us driving this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's our skills. It's our professionalism. It's the experience and the environment that we create for people here that really is the draw from day to day that keeps this, you know, keeps the lights on and keep this shit popping. Like, you know what I'm saying? The celebrities pop in when they can, you know what I'm saying, or when they need to.
It's just the regular people that keep it. Again, back to the community. It's the community that actually keep us afloat. You know what I mean?
And honestly, once you cross this threshold right here, it don't matter who you are. Your ass is gonna be normal as hell up in these four walls right here, bro. Because that's how we gonna treat you. You know what I'm saying? We gonna treat you like a human, yo. And I think that kind of dials back to what you asked about the homeless community, because, you know, like I said, man, folks come in this establishment, bro, they gonna be treated like a human being. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get some love and some respect as soon as they come in the door. You know what I'm saying?
So what do you think about, I mean, I know you can't speak for Killer Mike as far as the political views, but as far as some of the political movements he's involved in, do you share some of those same sentiments? And those that you do share, please share with us and the listening audience about those particular views of him having forums here with people like Bernie Sanders, and he's just actively around, you know, about NRA. Right. So, you know,
I'm personally kind of been pulled into politics by default. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did not set out to have any type of political career. And to answer your question about me and Mike's views lining up, some do. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think in a more general sense, Mike and I don't sit around and talk politics.
Right.
You dig? Like, we have a beautiful business relationship, a good, beautiful brotherhood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he's a part of my business work family. You know what I'm saying? And he's also a part of a larger family of the black diaspora. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People who care very intently for, you know, the progression and well-being of the, you know, black
liberation of the black
and the
people,
black diaspora. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And we are working in our own different ways and different lanes to achieve that liberation. You know what I'm saying? But it's been an honor and you know, really like a dope ass experience having he and I connect at this point in time. And, you know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody
respect
who knows Mike knows that he loves this city. He's an Atlanta native.
Right.
I also love this city. I wasn't born here, but you know, I feel like this city helped raise me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I truly found my sauce here. You dig?
Right.
And you know, and other major cities too. I have my experiences and relationships with different people in different places on my own tempo. So I'm not that dude that's trying to piggyback off of anybody's shit and become
right. I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you know, it's just people that come down here that, you know, chase that opportunity, you know, to be able to lace a celebrity with a haircut or what have you.
Which is great.
You know,
I have to put it out there because I don't want to be that dude who people start looking at as a means to get to Mike.
Right.
And start trying to invade my time with that shit. Like, chill, bruh. I'm not this man's personal secretary. You dig? Like,
and that can go for me too. You know what I mean? I'll stay on you a whole bunch. You know what I mean? But you know, not just me, but anybody that has.
It's all good, and it's all love. I just gotta say that as a grown-ass man, like I'm not walking around holding his hand. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So you dig? Like, but I appreciate and love my connection to the brother because it's been nothing but a blessing. So.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. So look, as we wrap up and come to a close, man, you got any handles you want to throw out there as far as how to reach you, contact you for anything that you might be able to help give up and coming barbers, any experience or whatever, lessons, just any handles, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we didn't touch on this at all, I don't think, but I did mention that I'm an artist, so you can check me out at, check out any of my artwork at Hood Vision Art on Instagram, and my more, you know, social barber thing kind of happens on at Nap Turner on Instagram. So, you know,
Nap Turner.
Yeah, Nap Turner, NAPTURNNER. Make sure there's 2 N's in that Turner. You know what I'm saying? Be extra nappy. And then in the Hood Vision Art on Instagram as well at Hood Vision Art. One word, just spelled how it is.
Well, again, we'd like to thank my brother Earnest, right here, one of the barbers down here at the Swag Shop. Oh, yeah. Right here in Edgewood.
Swag Shop Edgewood, for the Swag Shop right here, 365 Edgewood, you know what I'm saying? And Swag Shop, Hawks Arena for the arena location on Instagram. And yeah, man, y'all just, you know, really, I'm more of a offline. I'm so lit offline, man. Y'all pull up, man.
He's a cool dude, I'm telling you, man.
Pull up over here,
you gotta get to know this cat. But, hey, look, we rocking bourbon, too.
Yeah, man,
I think it's bourbon. I think it's bourbon. Cool, bourbon. From Kentucky, so I know bourbon when I see it, baby.
Yo, to all my barbers out there, bruh, to all my barbers, man, like, just be great, man. Like, make that your daily duty, man. Like, be great at being you, and you know, get into something, man. I you know, like be a sponge for your environment, man. For, you know what I'm saying, when the right sauce is being dripped, man, soak that up. You dig? Like, I was told just the other day, man, by a young king. He said, you know, getting into, take care, love, you too. Say what now? Cheers, love, happy holiday.
They know that bourbon.
Yeah, so ultimately, shout out to homie K Fresh, man, and his thing too, man. Fresh Produce.
Homie K Fresh.
K Fresh, what you want to say to the barbers, man? I'm about to shout out to all the barbers on my man's podcast.
Thank you for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
Appreciate it.
Hey, yo, that Swag Shop podcast coming soon, too.
Again, thank you again for listening to the I Play with the Clippers, not the NBA, the podcast. I'm glad to be your host, J. Alexander, J. Blue Collar Barber, Divine Cuts. You know what it is. Signing off. Peace.
Love. Oh man, that was a live